Don't leave me on my own.
Well, hello everyone and welcome once again to Crafting Live Bolton.
Yay!
Very good. Thank you very, very much all for joining us, and a particularly warm welcome if you're watching us from anywhere else in the world on Facebook Live. Now, what we're going to do in this show is something a little bit different in the fact that we're going to start off with some demonstration from someone who, for a lot of you, is a brand new face, and what a pretty face it is as well. This is lovely Jo. Let me come round and introduce you formally. Hello, Jo. Good to see you. Now, Jo, so before we get into it, tell us your background. How long have you been crafting for?
Seriously, for the last 3 years. It was the melt pot. Saw that on a show and I was hooked.
Right.
Completely hooked. Started making jewellery and then obviously working at Crafting Craft. I have a TV on my desk. Guests down in the green room. Just over time, you get hooked. And then I got the ScanNCut. Well, I got given a ScanNCut. I was lucky because I was going to buy one. They said, look, take one and try it. And it stayed in the box.
Right.
For 3 months.
Okay. What did Mel say about that?
Yeah. I went in the green room. Jo Foster! I was like, oh no.
She's like that, Mel.
And she really is. Have you used it? I was like, no, I haven't. Why? I said, I'm a technophobe. It scares me. I don't... Yeah. She went, get it out. Text me pictures. Yeah, and honestly, she was that fierce with me. Send me pictures of everything you make. So I was like, okay, went home, did what I needed to do in the morning, got on it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I got off at 3 o'clock in the morning.
3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, I was addicted straight away. Loved it.
Well, I have to say, and those of you who are regular viewers, you would have seen some of Jo's
a lot
work
of my samples,
because you're now on the design team for ScanNCut.
Scan and Screen Sensation.
Yes, check out Jo's bottom. As you can see here, you might recognise this one of the screens from Screen Sensation. And Jo first got to... Turn around, there we go, see just there. Remember, Jo, there's no HR on these shots, but there we go, you can see. Beautifully framed. Yes, so you would have seen that obviously on the shows. Anyway, we're not talking about Screen Sensation now, are we? We are talking about the ScanNCut. So we're going to start off with a demonstration, then we'll open up. And if you're watching on Facebook, if you've got any questions, we're live and interactive. We'll ask those questions to Jo or anyone here in the audience when we get through the demonstrations. Hold your hand up and we'll come say hi. So what are you going to do for us in this show?
Well, I'm going to do embossing because chatting to people as they've been coming round, they've all been asking a little bit about embossing because it is quite new.
Yes.
So I thought I'd do an embossing demonstration just to show again how simple it is because you know you go around and you see some of the parchment work. It's amazing.
Yes.
I couldn't do it.
Okay.
I haven't got the patience. I'll be honest, I'm impatient.
I've known Jo for a number of years, that's true.
I am impatient. I can't sit there for hours and hours and hours. So when they did embossing on here, I was like, yay, I can have a go. And it's so simple, simple. So I've got the USB in the screen builder scene, which is exactly the same as those. So you can use exactly the same USBs.
Right,
so it's absolutely fine. So I had a look earlier, and there's a really nice retro bride in here. My daughter's getting married, so I might use something like this.
Okay.
If I can find... Oh, sorry.
Now, I should mention, if you are watching online, depending on how you're watching the video, but you'll see there's a link there which will take you directly to the special section on the website specifically for this event where you can get hold of your ScanNCut and you get hold of everything that Jo is mentioning. Right.
So there's your retro bride. So I'm just going to say OK to it. Go into your top left hand and I'm going to link all the patterns together just in case I want to resize. So I say OK and OK and OK. Now I want to emboss. So you go into this square here. This is your premium functions. So you can see you've got your foiling on there as well. So I'm going to go into line emboss. When you want to change your pressure of your embossing when you first do it because it stretches the parchment, it's this little toolbar here, not that tool.
Oh, okay. Right. It's good to know.
So bottom right-hand side, -3 and emboss speed of 1.
Okay.
And then that will stretch it.
Right.
And that's it.
Okay. So at that point, we then treat it as if we were cutting, as if we were scanning.
Exactly the same. So you attach your sheet.
Yes.
I will make a confession. I did stick it the wrong way around the first time because I didn't read the instructions, so please read the instructions.
Yes.
Green at the bottom, not at the top.
Okay.
And then I've attached the parchment.
Yeah.
And then you put the plastic sheet over the top. Now, because I'm using a small piece of parchment, it should just stick to that.
Okay.
But if not, just put a little bit of tape on it.
Sure.
So
and what do you find, because I know one question we often get asked is with regards to the stickiness of the mat.
Yeah.
So is there any kind of tips you can pass on to ensure we maintain the stickiness?
You can wash your mat in warm soapy water, let it dry, And then recently I've discovered the Pinflair Stencil glue.
Yes, the Pinflair Stencil glue, yes.
So just press emboss and press. We've got 2 minutes. So if you wet a sponge, dampen it.
Yes.
2 or 3 drops and tap it over your mat. Absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. And it won't damage your roller or anything.
I'll tell you what, as we're live, because I know we say these things and sometimes it's good to get a visual. I wonder whether or not Magic Hands, would you mind? Could you go across to Pinflair and just ask if we can borrow a pot of stencil glue, just so you can see it at home
really,
and you guys
really
can see
good.
what it looks like?
Because the thing is, you don't want to have to keep buying new mats and new mats. I know that's your job to sell them.
Yes.
But, you know...
No, listen, at the end of the day...
I want to buy more paper. I don't want to keep buying mats.
Exactly. No, you don't want to keep having to buy extra peripherals.
And some of my old mats now, my oldest mat is repaired at the back with a bit of tape, but I now use that as my embossing mat.
Okay.
So I leave my embossing mat on it, so I'm not taking it on and off all the time.
Okay.
And then I've got another one that's got my fabric sheet on.
Right.
So they're on my old mats.
So you're keeping mats for specific
So those
jobs.
ones, as they've got a little bit older, I've attached my embossing to it. And I'll leave it on there now, because rather than keep taking it on and off and on and off and on and off.
Sure.
So I just leave it on it and just put it back in the plastic wrapper.
That's
the glue.
That is the Pinflair stencil glue, as recommended by Joe and by Mel.
Yeah.
You'll find it on our website. Of course, if you're here at Crafting Live Bolton, go pay Christine and her team a visit. They're just over there.
It's not very much.
No.
I think if you've got a ScanNCut, you need that.
Yes, agreed.
It will save you a lot of money.
Very good.
It really will.
Thank you for that, Magic Hands.
You know.
Truly magic hands. Truly magic hands.
Now, with embossing, you can see that that's working, but I'm going to put it through again because we've stretched the fibres now.
Right.
So now we want to do it again.
Okay.
So once it stops, I'll just re-put it through again.
Okay.
I did a lovely one at home and then put it in a frame and put some bright lights behind it.
Okay.
And it just looks beautiful. And, you know, I would never have done that by hand.
No.
Never in a million years.
And is that because, being honest, as you said before, because you just don't have the patience?
I'm impatient. I like glue that glues straight away. I want to finish it, and you know, I love resin work, but it takes 24 hours to set.
Right.
And I can't help putting my finger in it.
Yeah, just to
So I have to do little test pots that I can then poke my finger in.
Right. Okay.
But I think some people are like that, haven't they? Yeah. If you haven't got patience, you haven't got patience.
Well, you haven't got the time.
Yeah.
You know, you haven't got the time. If you're somebody who works
well, I work all week with you lot, and then I have weekends.
Yeah.
So my weekends is for crafting.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I haven't got time for something to set in 24 hours.
No.
Because I've got to go back to work on Monday.
Yeah.
So it has to be quick.
He has to make the time work for you.
It has to work for me.
As this is working, did you make these?
I did make these.
Can we talk about these?
These are from the Builder Scene.
Right.
So the car I love. So I cut the original car out and then I cut it again in silver. So all the silver bits are the bits that you would tend to, are the waste bits as Dean calls them, even though you never waste.
Come in closer, Lydia.
And inlay it all.
Yeah.
So then it gives you like the 3D. But the bird one for me, I love that one.
That's amazing.
Because the brickwork is just all cut on the ScanNCut and it's
Really?
all individual. So you could take bits out if you wanted to make it look broken down. And then the bird is just... And all the little flowers, and I use the flower forming kit for those.
Right, okay.
So you get the nice shapes. And, you know, that on somebody's wall.
That looks wonderful.
And in the bride and groom.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I think,
really
you know, you could give that as a wedding card.
Yeah.
Something a little bit different, and then they can keep it.
How did you...
That's chalk pen.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I discovered chalk pen. So you can just go around and it goes on clear and then it appears like magic.
Right, okay.
And then it just highlights everything. But, you know, to get a wedding card like that as something to keep.
It's something really, really different.
It's, you know, and you could size that up to 12 by 24.
Yes, of course.
So if you wanted to, you could size that right up.
And remember, of course, because we're looking, and in fact, if you're here with us live, you've got an extra special offer available on your ScanNCut, details of which are just over there. Yes, well done, Ed. Well worth remarking upon. If you are watching online, again, if you click on that link, you'll be taken directly to a special section on the website, your own bespoke section, where you can get hold of everything that Joe has been talking about thus far.
Thus far, and I'm not going to lie.
What?
It didn't work.
Did it not?
No.
All right, so listen, this is just, sometimes I think this is just as interesting as showing everything working.
Well, when I went over to that kit, I said, why is that mat not blue? Because mine's blue.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to try it without.
All right. Oh, blimey. So we really are going off
I do this all the time.
But don't you, Joe, this is the one thing I think...
Do you know what? I just think the worst that goes is a bit of paper and I'm going to throw it away.
Yeah.
Really?
But do you think that is an example of what Mel often talks about?
Yeah.
And that is to learn your machine?
Yes.
And what about that?
My machine is totally different to this.
Yes.
I've learnt my machine.
Yeah.
All the settings are different.
But
completely.
learning your machine, I think, is not just learning what it can do, it's sometimes learning what it can't do.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, and working out how you can
I
adjust.
know my blade settings on mine, so I had to get here early and check the blade settings, and the blade settings on this was different than mine, only by one. But there you go, it's working now.
Lovely. All right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, if you would like to order anything on the show, again, you can check out that link by clicking onto that link. And for those of you watching on Facebook and live, we do have, I've forgotten it, my fault, the tablet's just through there. Someone could grab it for me. We'll interact and see what's happening on Facebook as well. All right, so thus far, because this is the first time that you've actually had, I don't know if you can quite see. If you look behind me over there, you'll see, in fact, got one of the crafty beggars there at the moment.
Yay.
Oh, hang on, this is all happening at once. There we go, good. You'll see, we've got Judy just there. So that's where Joe's been positioned. So what's the most common question that you've been asked?
A lot of people, like me, didn't get it out of the box.
Right, okay.
So we've had a few one-to-one sessions over there.
Yes.
And they've all promised, I've given them my email address, and they've all promised to send me pictures
right.
of what they've done.
Okay.
So they've said they'll do it.
I've been trying to get a one-to-one with Joe for years.
You don't want one with me, Andy. You know you don't. Let's be honest.
Very true, very true.
He really doesn't want a one-to-one with me. But it's been really nice because I can relate because I'm exactly the same.
Yes.
And when you talk to people, it's like, oh, I'm not really sure. And there was one lady called Jojo, I don't know if she's around. I said, right, now have a go.
Yeah.
And she did it.
Right, okay. And
Straight
it's amazing
away.
when the penny drops.
But somebody was going to charge her £50 to go to her house. She had to pick them up to bring them back. And it was two people, £50 each to have a lesson at her house.
Really?
And she's just got it for free.
That's not bad, is it? See, it's another reason why I don't know, not everyone can come to these events, but if you can come to events, they're well worth coming to. Oh, hello. Right, coming close. Have a look at this.
And that's only going through it once. So normally you go over it twice once the fibres are stretched.
Now, straight away, because, for example, I know there's lots and lots of crafts where often the crafting is as fun as the destination. So parchment, an example of that. I think we all agree that parchment looks incredible.
Beautiful.
But if you are time poor, this is a real shortcut to success.
It is, but then you can paint this now and decorate it and do all the fun bit. Because that's what I like doing.
Yes.
Not
the preparation.
Yeah, I've got one that's coming on a show next week where I've put it into a frame and put lights behind it. It's an angel.
Nice.
And it looks beautiful because it's got golden wings and halos. And so now you can just sit and that does the fun bit.
That's very
the fun bit's decorating it, I think.
No, I agree.
Let the machine, you know.
Let the machine do the boring
I wish
part.
I could be as patient as the lovely people over there. I've just been watching their work. It's phenomenal. Yeah. Absolutely phenomenal.
But I think sometimes, that with something like that, I always think of an example of this is painting. When you see artists at work, and they make it look easy, and it looks wonderful. But I think for so many of us, we don't get it right, and we go, oh, I'm no good at that, and we give up. Yeah. But this really does allow you to get that shortcut to success.
It does it all for you.
Yeah.
And, if I wanted to, I could do a great big parchment of a bride. And, you know, my daughter's getting married, so I'm doing all the decorations, the invites, and the whole lot. So
we're looking at the CM700, the special edition here.
Yeah.
So this one is Wi-Fi enabled.
This one's Wi-Fi enabled, as is the 900.
Can you explain, because I listened to a couple of questions you were getting earlier on, when it comes to the larger mat.
Yes.
What's the restrictions?
The 12 by 24.
The 12 by 24. With this one, you can not only cut on it, but you can scan as well, can't you?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And you can do that with this one and the 900?
Yes.
Okay.
But then all the other ones you can update anyway because it updates all the machines.
Let's talk about that because I know that's probably a question you've been asked quite a bit as well. Is that easy to do? What do I need to do to ensure that I'm updated?
For someone who's honestly, I know people think we lie, but I really am. So you just go on to the Brother UK site and you go to the Brother support.
Right.
And it says upgrade.
Okay.
Upgrade your machine.
Yeah.
Click onto that and it takes you to select your machine and it will say 3, 6, 7, 900. You go to that and it will tell you what version you're on.
Yeah.
So you can tell in your machine if you go into tools what version you're in.
Yeah.
Where is it? Here we go. Update. Can't let me find it. You will find it in here somewhere. Live TV. Machine. Okay, so it will tell you what's unreadable. And there we go, version 2.3. So that is the latest update, because I did mine at the weekend.
Of course.
So you check your version. If it doesn't need updating, obviously don't update it. Yes. If you do, plug a USB into it, and just update it.
Yeah.
When you get back to your machine, you turn your machine off, you put your finger on there, and you turn your machine on like that. And it will say update, version update.
Oh, okay.
So then you put your USB in, and then it updates it for you.
Brilliant.
I would suggest once you've updated it, delete the update from your USB, because I didn't.
Right.
And it kept updating with the old update.
Right, okay.
And I was getting quite, and that's when my son had to come down, because I'm like, I'll give up now. But he was like, Mum, you've left the old ones on there, you've got to delete them. I thought, that's fair enough.
But it's all part of the learning curve.
Well, it is, you know, but keep a separate USB. So just get a small USB, and I just keep it in a little bag just for updates.
They're very, very inexpensive now.
You can get them really, really cheap now, and you only need a small one. It doesn't need a massive amount of memory for it. And because you're going to delete it each time, you'll be absolutely fine with that.
I just want to say hello to all the people who are watching on Facebook Live. Karen, Margaret, Tina, Jessica, Kay, Christine, who's watching us from French France. Nice. Thank you very much to all of you. Remember, all of these videos are going to be staying on the Create and Craft Facebook page for the next week or so, so you can download them, you can watch them again. If you've missed anything, if it's a point that maybe Joe Main you've missed, you can, of course, watch that again. All right, well, listen, at this juncture, let's throw this out to our audience. Our audience who will join us here in Bolton.
Hey!
Good. Very enthusiastic late in the day as well.
I know.
So, does anyone watch? I don't know, it's a bit intimidating, but don't worry, we don't bite. As Joe is the expert and we're here live, this is your moment, your perfect moment, as Martine McCutcheon sang. Who's she? You're right. So, any questions that you've always wanted to ask about the ScanNCut when you have an expert at your fingertips, or anything? Do you know what? It's
or the
presenters,
I can tell you all.
Joe knows where the skeletons are hidden, genuinely. She really does. So, last show of the day, any question that you've wanted to ask a Create and Craft presenter, a magic hands, a camera operator, a director, or a lady who has worked with the presenters for how long?
16 years.
16 years. Any questions you want to ask, now is the time to ask them. No? Oh, there's one there. There we go. Right, I'm going to come down and I'm going to bring a microphone so that we can now forgive you if there's any feedback here. We might get a slight squeal. All right. Right. There's a seat. There's a seat next to you as well. So I'm going to turn my back to you. Okay.
You know your ScanNCut?
Hold on.
Can you only do one sheet at a time? Can you only do one sheet at a time?
Can you only do one sheet at a time?
Cutting or embossing?
Cutting.
Yes. Yeah, I would stick to one so you get a clean cut.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can size it, can't you?
Yes. Yeah. And you can multiply it. So if you're cutting a flower, you could multiply it by 20 and fit it all onto the page. So you can cut 20 flowers at once.
All right.
However many you can fit on a 12 by 12 or a 12 by 24. So once you've got it to where you want, you just times it by however many, and then there's a sorting thing, and it will put it in the best way so that you're not wasting paper. And you go off and have a cup of tea, and you come back and you've got 30 flowers cut.
Right, thank you.
Or 40 or 50 or however many you want.
Okay.
Come over, I'll show you how to do it.
She's very approachable. Very, very approachable. What's your name?
Linda.
Linda, thank you very much. All right. Right then. Thank you very much, Linda. Anyone else have any other questions? Oh, there's another one there. Hold on one second. All right. So let's go over here and ask this lovely lady. All right. What's your name?
Susan.
Susan, hello. What's your question?
Do you have crib sheets for the tips and how you get the updates?
If you go, well, it should be in your pack, in your when you bought your ScanNCut, there's sheets in there that it gives you all the instructions. If not, just go online Mel's done loads of tutorials on YouTube, but it should have all been in the paperwork you got when you got the machine.
I got it some time ago.
Yeah, yeah, but if not, go on to YouTube or onto our website, onto the tutorials.
Right.
And it should all be on there.
Yes, okay. There's a dedicated part of the website where there's lots of videos and all those kind of things.
Yeah,
we're constantly updating it as well. All right, does that answer your question? Yeah. All right, is that just water in there?
No.
Oh, good. Wonderful. They told me people in Bolton like to party. All right. Okay, right. Oh, the camera's a bit close. Right, any other questions? As we're here. Oh, there's one lady over there. Good. Oh, you're just waving?
Ah.
Oh, okay. Hello. You're right. Oh, your next answer.
Embarrassing.
Ringmaster. No? Yes. Thought I got it wrong there. Not for the first time. All right. Right. Any other questions? No?
Make him run.
Yeah, Joe likes to see me work. All right, well, listen, I have another question.
Yep.
So, we mentioned about the most... Because I was eavesdropping, I'll be honest with you, when you were talking to some customers earlier on. And the one thing that seems to be, not a tripping point, but I think kind of relating to what Lady was saying, difficult to remember, is this notion of pressure.
Yes.
Now, obviously, talk us why is pressure important?
Honestly, I've never changed the pressure on mine.
Oh, really?
Never.
Oh, okay.
I've never ever changed it.
So what setting do you have?
My pressure is on 1.
Right, okay.
Cut pressure 1. This one's on 1.
And you've never felt
I've never had to change it. The only thing I change is sometimes my blade, depending on the thickness of the card.
Okay.
But on average, I would say mine is on a 5.
Right, okay.
It might go down if I'm cutting something very thin, but on average it's a 5. But I've never had to use my change the cut pressure.
Isn't that interesting?
I've never changed the cut speed either.
Really?
Never changed it. I've never needed to.
Right, okay.
Everything's cut absolutely fine.
Well, that's good, isn't it? So that's easy to remember.
The only thing I would say, when you first get your blade, make sure that when you twist it round fully,
yes,
it lands on 12. If it doesn't, you can peel this off and then stick it. So you want to make sure your 12 is aligned to that line.
Coming close. There we go. We can see there.
Okay. If it's not, it's easy to peel off, and you stick it back on so it's exactly lined up. Then your blade will be proper.
And that will relate.
Then you know that if you're on a 5, you're on a 5.
Sure.
And yours isn't a 6 or a 3.
Sure.
So that's the only thing I would say with that. But mine is generally on a 5.
Well, that's good news. That made it even easier, haven't you?
Yeah.
So have you thoroughly enjoyed today?
I've had such a lovely time.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've met some amazing people. Really, really love. I've got a few going to be emailing me with pictures, and everyone's just been so lovely and welcoming.
Yeah, they have.
Really have. I now see why you love coming.
Oh yeah, most certainly.
I really do.
Great fun. Great fun.
I hope to come again.
I'm sure you'll
I
be
really
allowed.
do. Everyone's been lovely.
All right, good. Thank you very much, Joe.
Thank you.
Round of applause, please, for Joe Foster.
Thank you.
You will see plenty of Joe, of course, on our TV screens in the future. Thank you very, very much to all of you who've been watching on Facebook Live. And remember, if you have just caught the end of it, thought, oh, I've missed it, you are able to watch them again. They'll be on the Facebook page, the Create and Craft TV Facebook page. If you're thinking, well, I haven't got hold of that, if you go onto the Create and Craft TV Facebook page, simply like the page whenever we do these shows. The next one, to date for your diary, we are doing the middle of July. We're going to Doncaster, back to Donny. So even if you can't make it, you'll still be able to see all the live shows as they happen, and you'll be able to download them afterwards. So on behalf of Joe, myself, the entire team, and the good people of Bolton,
hey!
Thank you all very, very much for watching, and we shall see you very soon. Goodbye.